Hey everyone, so I just finished a workout today and I wanted to tell you about how you could form better habits, get a better discipline, and just live a better life. Um, so I'm reading this book called Willpower, and I think it's one of the best, most science-backed books on willpower to have ever been written. There's all this research in there about why willpower is important and actual science-backed ways on achieving willpower. And from the book, I realized that there's some really cool tips that you can use to improve your willpower. And I think it's important because most people don't really think about that. They train their body, but they don't train their minds. And if you train your minds, you're going to be much more successful. So think about New Year's resolutions. So many people start them and then they fail. They have all these goals, some related to fitness, some related to other parts of their life. And every year they fail in a similar way, and they just try and more or less do the same thing. Now, I'm not judging people because some may have been trying different methods. Some may have been thinking about how they can approach things differently. But I believe a good portion of them never do. They never think, well, I could be doing something different with my thinking, my psychology, and that's what's causing the issue, rather than just trying out, trying the same thing again next year. Trying to use their sheer willpower to go to the gym on a consistent basis and fail, or some of them may even try different methods. They may switch up fitness routines. They may go to buy a different online fitness program, or go to a different gym, or try different methodology. Maybe it's CrossFit this time instead of bodybuilding. And sometimes that won't work still. So long story short, how do you actually improve this? And as you can see, it's very valuable. And the main way that I think one should start considering is methodology, and that starts with willpower and habit formation in the mind. And I'm going to introduce some ideas here that actually aren't really referenced a lot in some of those like viral videos that get hundreds of millions of views. Even like the more niche personal development YouTubers that get lots of views, they don't really mention this because I'm kind of stepping outside of the popular mainstream books. And I'll leave a link in the description if you want to read more about it. I'll link the actual book you can buy off Amazon. So first off, in terms of methodology, I think a lot of people like to go all in, and they just go all in and commit. And for some people that works. I think David Goggins is a great example. He went all in because his life hit rock bottom. And so he was just like, screw it. I have a crappy job. I have nothing in my life. I'm just going to commit and just go through hell. And so he went through brutal Navy SEAL training for a long time, like pre-Navy SEAL training, starving himself, going to the gym every day, forcing himself to commit, and giving himself these harsh deadlines. Basically, he had to lose 100 pounds in like 3 months just to qualify to apply to become a Navy SEAL and attend the audition for Hell Week. And so that's one method, and it works for a select few, these extreme few. And I feel like a lot of people try this methodology, and it's the only methodology they try, and that's why they fail at New Year's resolutions. Now, I'm not saying my alternative methodology is guaranteed to succeed, but I found that a lot of people flame out this way. I've been going to the same CrossFit gym consistently for almost 4.5 years now, and I've seen a lot of people come and go. And I think you can see their methodology, their thinking, or I've asked them, like, why do you keep going to the gym? Why do you not? And some of them have these different reasons for it, and a lot of them they burn themselves out by going to the gym every day or almost every day every week, and that ultimately leads to them flaming out. And after 2 months, 3 months, sometimes 6 months, they are gone. And some of them, they seem very skilled. Some seem stronger than me. Some seem more athletic than me. They finish their workouts in class faster than me, and then they just disappear. And then I'm still there, and I'm still training. And then you find out like they just didn't stick with it, or they didn't like it. And so I feel like what's kept me consistent is one is forgiveness. Like if you miss one day, don't, doesn't mean you call it quits. Doesn't mean you give any reason to call it quits. Some people will beat themselves up so much that they say, oh, I missed one day. Oh, I missed 2 days in a row now. I might as well just give up forever. That's not how it works. Celebrate when you re-enter the place. And then, to a point, I used to beat myself up a lot in my head. But what good does that do? Not so much good. After a pretty low threshold, it can just get you to a point where you're just like, you don't do anything with it. If it leads to action, then yeah, maybe it's helpful. But a lot of times, sometimes, people will just beat themselves. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. And then their whole perspective about working out kind of sucks too, because they think it's just suffering to them. It could be fun too. So in terms of the actual book I want to recommend, it's called Willpower. And they did this research on how you can actually improve willpower. And they did all these tests, and they measured it through holding this forearm clamp. And they found out that it was a good measure because the longer you can hold it, actually it correlates with the higher willpower you have in life. And so, they found out through their research that higher willpower leads to greater success in everything. And in those moments when you're strengthening your willpower and pushing it, your results in other areas of life start to noticeably improve too. So they noticed these people were cleaner in their rooms. They did their chores more often. They worked out more often. All these other activities worked when they activated willpower strengthening exercises. So essentially, by improving your willpower, you can essentially create this cyclical effect where every area of your life starts to succeed, and you get happier, you get more successful, and then it's game over. It's a snowball effect. So what activities actually worked in improving willpower and which did not? Well, go read the book for much more detail, but long story short, any activity that rewires your brain in a different way and forms a new habit. Anytime you're trying to work that muscle, that is a willpower strengthening thing. And that's what they found most effective to improving willpower. So you're like, what does that mean? Give me some examples. Well, for me, and they use this example in the book, brush your teeth with the opposite hand. Each time you're trying to do something that's not natural, that strengthens your willpower. Or it could just be something else, like going to work out a little bit differently than you used to. Training different muscle groups, or training different habits. And so anything you do differently, it helps. If it's strengthening a new habit that you're trying to neurally focus, even small stuff like brushing or writing with your left hand. Now, I want to just conclude by saying that I think I do want to help people, but it does frustrate me a bit about how the world is. But at the same time, I don't want to judge. So it puts me in a strange spot because I don't know their situation. Some of them could have tried all the tactics out there and they still haven't succeeded. But it does frustrate me a bit when I see a lot of people who they're just repeating the same actions, it seems, and they just keep failing. They keep trying to go to the gym, and every year they give up by May or March or April. Or they keep trying to do something, start a business, and it keeps getting put off. And I think with COVID-19 and the pandemic, that's one thing where people start to realize, oh, these are excuses, and that's been one benefit from it. I know people who really wanted to do certain things, write a book, paint more, and then come quarantine, now they have all this free time, and you realize it was never the lack of free time. That was just an excuse. They just didn't want to do it. And so sometimes it's about passion, sometimes it's about loving it. And I think the people who stick with CrossFit the most, they love it. And that's one way of making you succeed. Not the only way. You could do it the David Goggins way too, but it is very frustrating to see that. And to each their own. Some people are going to make it. Some people are just going to succeed. Some of them are going to fail, and they won't take your advice. They're not even going to look up videos like this and try and succeed. So you can really only just help those who are willing to be helped. And hopefully this video will kind of help more people out. But I guess to an extent, I can only open the door. I can't force you to walk through. And so hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I've helped someone out there. Again, my tips are not guaranteed to work, but it could be useful for you. And it is frustrating that some people will just never be helped, and they're just going to fail. But that is the world. So best of luck to you all.